What's good, YouTube world, everybody? What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick early lunch today. Got a number of things to talk about, man. Been listening to local radio pretty much all morning. It's what comes on my radio that I have in my truck. And you know how it is, man. These people week to week. 1 week you trash. Your coach about to be fired. Quarterback ain't going to be the quarterback of the team after this year. All types of wild stuff. You go out there, have a good week or two or three. Now all of a sudden, are you elite now? All that kind of stuff, man. You know, and then you see the fans follow these things, man, because people are quick to be influenced by what they hear. You can have a real wild take, and psychologists have tested this theory out. You can take something that's wild and constantly just say it. It could be a lie, and just say it and say it and say it and say it over and over and over and over. And to an unsuspecting listener, in that unsuspecting listener's brain, who does not have a mechanism to block that, they can actually turn around and eventually start believing it because they just keep hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. It's called the law of suggestion, right? And this is what you have going on, man. You have the 5% of people that are actually vocal, that are actually influencing the masses, or at least a good chunk of the masses, right, who are listening to these people. Oftentimes, these people don't verify the information well. They don't support it with empirical data. None of that. But people listen. Like this idea that Jalen Hurts has been trash since the last game in Miami. This is something that is being put out there by the likes of Dan Sileo and others. They consider the victory over Mahomes like don't count. Hurts was playing bad in that game to them, even though they beat the Chiefs, the champs. You beat the Chiefs, but he played bad to them. You beat Buffalo, but you played bad. So this is what I want to know, right? In that game where the Eagles beat the Chiefs, are you saying that both Mahomes and Jalen Hurts were bad? Is that what we saying? Because I want to know, I want to understand how that works. You played a bad game, but you won. So what are you judging based on? Do you believe that in a football game, you should never have to go up against friction? Do you believe that every football game is supposed to be easy? Do you believe that every quarterback's supposed to go out there and complete 80%, 70% of his passes for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns all the time? And that's the only time he's playing good? Other than that, even if, like, he had to win at the end? And if that is your belief, I need you to do your research and go throughout time in the history of the NFL, which has been around since the late 1800s, right? You ain't even got to do that. You can go back to the 70s, 80s, whatever era, and tell me that Montana in 1980, the championship game against the 49ers, played bad in that game, even though he had the catch, which sent them into the Super Bowl and sparked the beginning of a dynasty that we know as the San Francisco 49er dynasty of the 80s. But if you look at that game, Joe Montana was quite pedestrian until he hit Dwight Clark for the what is known as the catch. Are you telling me that Joe Montana was bad in that game? That wasn't a good game? Is that what we doing? What about Terry Bradshaw? Many of them Super Bowl performances, so-called pedestrian numbers, but clutch in the end. That's what I don't get about a lot of people, man. A lot of people will be looking at stuff, and I mean, look, we all entitled to our own opinion. But for me, in watching quarterbacks my whole life, I've narrowed down my standards. And I'll, in a future video, break down the 5 standards. But I'm going to tell you what number one is. Number one is clutchness. The most you can ask is that, is your quarterback the type of guy that if put in a situation where the game is in the balance, that he can win the game? And assuming everyone else around him does their job satisfactorily, that you can count on that guy to win the game for you. Some people would rather just have a guy that goes out there and get a bunch of numbers. And you know what I think? I think that's reflective of the times we in. It's reflective of the times we in. Because at the inception of the game, the objective has always been to win. Whether you win running, whether you win passing or whatever. What does it matter? I remember Bill Belichick with Tom Brady, who many of you say is the GOAT. And I don't debate, I don't dispute that. I think there is reason to say that. I mean, 7 Super Bowl victories. There are 7 Super Bowl victories. Nobody else is close. But I can recall games when the great Tom Brady passed for under 150 yards and won a chip in Super Bowls. I can recall a season in 2004 when the Patriots were winning every game by an average of 3 points. That was the margin of victory. But now I gotta hear when my Philadelphia Eagles win by 2 points, 3 points, less than a touchdown, that they look bad. And the only time they look good is if they beat somebody by 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns. This is what we doing right now. We running out here, we coming out here with narratives, and we pushing certain types of ideas that are just not backed by anything that is empirical, that's verifiable, that has been proven to be reflective of reality. The truth of the matter is, you ain't promised nothing. And you got to work for what you get. So when you are granted a victory, whether it's 1 point or 2 point, you need to learn how to have some gratitude for that. Scripture tells us, and this is the thing I've been trying to tell y'all about these Philadelphia Eagles this particular season. This was not going to be one of them years where we come out there 8-0 start, 10-0 start, 9-1 start. No. And if you expected that, I don't know, I suggest maybe the Dawa Cha-Ching for you. Like, I recommend scripture, the Quran, Holy Quran. I recognize something like the Psalms for you. The Bible. Why? Because this is a character issue. This is a knowledge of self issue. This is a lack of ability to control one's emotions issue. This is a lack of being able to use the knowledge that one has acquired over a period of time of watching a game in order to develop a type of mindset that is appropriately reflective of your experiences. You know what that's called? That's called wisdom, my brother. That's called wisdom. Jalen Hurts goes out there 2 years ago, balls out like crazy. Gets to a Super Bowl, balls out like crazy. Unfortunately, due to circumstances and so on, he fell short. Patrick Mahomes did his thing. He's a warrior. My man was able to run a 26-yard run on a bad ankle. I give him all the credit in the world for that. You tip your hat to that man. That man is great. Referees call calls that we don't agree with, but hey, what you gonna do, right? You see this man do that. And then now, even today, we got people that are asking, is this man good? Can he play football? Can he play quarterback? Can he throw the football? And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Unlike many of you, I was not shocked by what I saw Jalen Hurts do against Cincinnati. When have you ever seen Jalen Hurts enter a game where he know he's going up against a top quarterback on the other side of the field and not ball the freak out? Show me the time when he know he going up against Pat Mahomes, where he don't show up. Show me the time where he knew he's going to get up against Josh Allen and he don't show up. Show me the time when he going up against, I guess I can mention him, Dak Prescott, and he don't show up. I knew it back when he was a rookie. And the first time he had to be brought in the game when Carson Wentz was set was against the Green Bay Packers MVP Aaron Rodgers. And what did he do? He started off the game, second play, he threw a 45-yard touchdown to a receiver that is so trash that we don't have him, named Jalen Reagor. Or it may have been Greg Ward, whatever. Carson Wentz couldn't do that all season. He go in and do that. And then people are asking, can he throw the ball? You just saw the motherfucker throw a 45-yard touchdown. Why is this a question? This is where we get into the whole thing about dudes being haters. That's when we get into all that, man. Dudes is haters, man. You just saw him throw a 45-yard touchdown. Why are you asking, can he throw? You saw him throw over the middle in the Super Bowl. Why are you asking, can he throw over the middle? What's wrong with you, man? As far as this team go, like I was trying to allude to, if you even want something from God, like I know a lot of y'all don't like this type of language, but even if you want something from God, Scripture tells you that the answer is prayer and patience. And patience is the thing I'm trying to get to here. The prayer represents you just seeking and making it clear what you want, making your intention clear, and then putting it out there for the universe and really for God to facilitate you getting it. But that facilitation also requires patience on your part and on my part. The Philadelphia Eagles this year put themselves in position, man. You went out and you got you the best defensive coordinator that you felt you got. You went out there and you got you a nice young mind in Kellen Moore. You took and relegated Nick Sirianni to doing things other than calling plays because you know that's not his skill set. Let him be the rah-rah guy. Let him be the culture setter. Whatever it is. You set yourself up with all that. You went out there and got you the two best young corners in the draft to alleviate the problems that we had last year. You went out there and you got you a couple linebackers like a Zach Bond that can run side to side. They got the size in order to make things difficult for a quarterback. Right? You went and you got you these guys. You letting the young guys shine. You done got you a Jalen Carter. You basically put half of the Georgia Bulldogs defense on your team, including Kobe Dean. You did all that. So now, have some patience with seeing it come to fruition. This idea that every single week there has to be this excellent performance all the time is silly. And it's a lack of character. It's really what I'm trying to get at. It's a lack of character. So let's not continue down that road. Let's not continue down that road, man. Have character. Listen to people that know what they're talking about, man. Listen to people that verify what they're saying, man. Who make sense, man. You know what I'm saying? We'd be all right. So where we at? 6-2. We got the Jaguars coming in. Doug Peterson, my man, who I'll forever be grateful for, helping deliver us that 2017 jewelry. Now we got the smashing. Doug, sorry, Doug got the smashing. You know what I'm saying? Later, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of that other stuff, you know, what they doing. But let me go ahead back to work, man. Peace out.